It is 6 o'clock, so we will call the Tuesday, July board meeting to order. Nancy, I don't think I've ever called on you to say lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I almost looking my chair swiveled around. All right. Dave, would you call the roll, please?
Bob,
Yes.
Heather,
Here.
Lyndon,
Here.
Dave, here, Brian.
Here.
Everyone is all accounted for. Thank you. All right. I am asking that we remove one thing from the agenda. It is the Parks and Recommendation of the purchase of 2 additional bleachers. Unfortunately, we did not get the quote that we needed. I did ask that the board keep in mind that the cost of those bleachers is approximately $3,000 a piece, and plus shipping. So we will hopefully get the quote that we need for our August board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Second, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, with that in mind then, the agenda is approved. Thank you. Next on our agenda is our auditor, Eric Van Dopp from Berkeley DeLong, and he has prepared a presentation of our 2023 audit.
Indeed I have. So yep, I'm here to present the results of your audit. I'm going to keep it short and simple, but I'm here for your benefit, so don't be shy about jumping in if you have any questions or want to have a discussion on something, even if it's amongst yourselves and not with me, but we'll get rolling here.
Eric, on that side of the computer with you.
I kind of was wondering if I was in a bad spot.
There you go. Much better.
Well, maybe I should just kind of get up here. There we go. Okay. All right, because then I can talk to everybody. So the independent auditor's report, as always, is on page 1 and 2. This is the opinion paragraph, which is the second paragraph. The financial statements are fairly presented in accordance, in all material respects, in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. It's a big long sentence paragraph, but it means what it says. To the best of our testing and procedures, we believe your financial statements are materially correct. It's called an unmodified opinion, sometimes called a clean opinion. It's the highest one that we could give, and it's the one that you usually receive. And I do always mention in all material respects, because again, we're not auditing down to the last penny, we're looking at the big picture. So, but that's not the most exciting stuff. The most exciting stuff is the numbers. Although I would mention behind the opinion letter, starting on page 3, I believe it is the management discussion and analysis. That's a nice overview of the financial statements from the township's perspective, so that's certainly a place I would refer you to if you kind of want the Cliff Notes version of the audit. But anyway, we'll look at the general fund. If you want to look at this in your book, it's broken out in the most detail on page 30. I have a somewhat summarized version here to fit it all on one screen, and I put the prior year up there for comparative purposes. Total revenues in the current year of $993,935, an increase of about $117,000 from last year. Taxes are up, as you can see there, with taxable value growing about $26,000. Intergovernmental revenues federal, that's just how much you got of your ARPA money you're spending, and you spent more this year, so that's up about $44,000. Interest earnings are up substantially with higher interest rates, so I'm sure you're well aware of that. So those are up about $43,000. Everything else is relatively close on the expenditure side. And if you're looking at page 30, it is all broken out by department. I've just got it more summarized here. Total expenditures of $1,009,445. That's up about $193,000 from last year. As far as the different categories here, obviously there's salary adjustments and some other fringe benefits adjustments and stuff that flow through all areas. You know, general government has some special one-time things in there, like in the building and grounds building study and things of that nature. The higher pension costs. You've got the new police costs that are included in public safety this year. The partial payment of school resource officer. Public Works tends to fluctuate just depending on how many road projects you do in a given year. There were a little bit more this year. There's a new zoning contract, so community economic development's up just a little bit. And the main reason for the increased capital outlay, as you can see, is up almost $100,000, that $226,424, which was partially funded with the ARPA money. You've got the new pole barn over there, you've got the parking lot getting repaved, the new parking lot out back for the parks, the pavilion, and some other parks equipment. So you guys had a pretty busy year making improvements right around here. But the good news, the net result of all that is you just have a small loss, $15,510, fund balance of $1,193,000. So you're able to get a lot done and still be right around break even. So that's good news. Any questions here? Okay, I don't know why I put this in here because there's nothing to talk about really, but you've got your little road improvement fund that collects special assessments. You've got a couple special assessments out there. The money keeps coming in as it's due. People pay their assessments. You can see that money coming in. There haven't been any projects in the last few years, so the fund balance is going up in this fund. And you guys had at one point several years ago transferred money in as kind of seed money, so that's just sort of the seed money's coming back in for future projects. So not much else to say there. I believe that is my last slide. I do have a couple of letters that you guys have as well. We always provide our auditor's letter to those charged with governance. That's the letter that starts off with, we've audited the financial statements, governmental activities, et cetera, et cetera. This is just required communication. We have to provide this every year. We talk about any significant accounting policies. There weren't any this year, any significant estimates, the fact that we looked at them and believe they're reasonable. Any difficulties encountered performing the audit, there were not any significant audit adjustments, and those are summarized in there as well. Any disagreements with management on accounting or auditing principles, and Heather's always arguing with me on GASB standards. No, I'm just kidding. No issues there this year. A few other odds and ends, but it's really just required communications. It's a pretty vanilla letter. The other one is our recommendation letter. As a reminder, we're not auditing your internal controls, we're auditing the financial statements. However, in the course of doing an audit, we obtain an understanding of your internal controls in order to plan and perform our procedures. So while we're doing an audit, if we come across items that we think could use improvement, we bring them to your attention in the form of a recommendation letter. I've been doing this audit with you for a few years now, and I know we've had some longer recommendation letters in the past, and you guys have always been really prompt at jumping on things. And there's really just a couple suggestions this year. One is just continuing to work on year-end closing to reduce the number of audit adjustments. And the other one's just one that most smaller entities get, and that's the controls surrounding the preparation of the financial statements themselves. We draft the whole thing as part of the audit. However, the only thing in here that really is ours is the opinion letter. Otherwise, it's your numbers, your footnotes, your disclosures, all that sort of stuff. And we're not supposed to be a part of your internal controls, so you should have someone with the skills and experience in drafting financial statements, but most small townships, I wouldn't expect to have a spare CPA or finance director sitting around. So you guys do the best you can. We go through it, spend a lot of time with Linda, Dave, and Heather running through all the different numbers and where they came from. I think everybody's kind of on top of what's going on, but just not having that level of understanding as to what should be in the footnotes. So I have to give that silly comment every year to most of my clients, and then I have to explain it 2 or 3 times every year. Don't worry about that one. So, but for the most part, the audit, well, pretty much for just about any way you look at, the audit went very well. You guys are in good shape. Like I said, I think this is one of those years where you can actually say, we did that, and we did that, and we did that. There's a lot of things to point at, so it was a good year for you guys. So thanks very much, especially to Heather, Linda, and Dave that we bug a lot, and their deputies. We're here pounding them good for 2 days. And the board as well for having us out to do the audit, and we certainly look forward to being back next year and seeing whatever exciting things have popped up by the time we come back next year. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
And I'm sorry, any final questions?
I had none.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you because, every year I go, okay, I do this. I literally do. And then every year Heather does an amazing job at this. But one of the things that Eric did say to us, and I felt really good about this, was that for a small township, we should feel very good because we are a working township. We have 3 people in here plus our deputies who literally are in here all week long working. And that's kind of unusual for a small township to have a full-time staff working at their job, which makes your job perhaps a little bit easier.
Well, certainly, that's the end all be all is not keeping me happy. It's having good procedures and policies and stuff in place to make sure you've got good controls, and having more people available and working, you've got more opportunity to have cross checks and review approvals and things like that. Whereas if you didn't have deputies or people that were coming in on a regular basis, it gets to be more difficult.
And we take Eric's comments very seriously. I mean, we don't take, when he suggests we do something, we take his controls very seriously. We're not taking them lightly, and we're reviewing our policies. We have plans in place to look at them every 5 years, and so.
Yeah, I know we talked about that
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, and
Yeah.
you guys have been updating things and moving through them regularly, which is a good idea. Passing policies and sticking them in the drawer to collect dust doesn't help, so keeping them fresh and referring to them is what you
Yeah.
should be doing.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we appreciate it.
All right. Well, I'll leave you to more exciting things than me. So.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Do any of you have any questions for Eric? Okay. All right. Next on our agenda, the minutes.
I'll make the motion. Let's get it going.
Support.
All right. Any questions or concerns about the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Minutes are approved. Next on our agenda would be the treasurer's report. Heather.
Our I'm in the wrong month. Our June 1st, 2024 beginning general fund balance was $1,269,698.36. Our revenues totaled $77,711.42. Expenditures totaled $45,162.44, leaving an ending general fund balance of $1,302,247.34.
Does anyone have any questions for Heather?
Nope.
All right, then we will place the treasurer's report on file. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Disbursements.
You have the reports, no unusual expenses. If you have any questions?
I have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we pay all of our regular bills for the month of July.
I'll
And I-
support.
And just a note, Dave pays the fire contracts in July.
In July.
So that's a big one that'll show up next month.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion. Did we get a support? Oh, and you
Brian.
made,
Brian.
Brian, you made the support. Okay, since, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Dave, any correspondence?
No.
Okay, I did not have any either. Okay. Public comments, agenda items only. Yes.
Everything looks lovely out there. You guys are doing a great job, and I love that auditor's report. That was fantastic. I love that thing at the bottom where we increase capital spending and we can look out there and see it. Thank you all very much. My comment goes to the pickleball courts, of course, because that's on the top of my head. I've never played on a pickleball court that faces east-west, okay? I see where that's gonna be a problem early morning and late evening, but it's limited, okay? And I usually play early morning and late evening, and I've been talking to Linda a little bit about it, and I'll continue to do what I can. But I did do a little research on a conversation we had about painting the courts. The paint serves to provide a non-slip surface or a less slippery surface. So I'm not gonna say that we're doing something wrong. What I'm gonna ask you to do is to please do your due diligence and research to see if we need to, because I'm worried about a liability issue if you don't. If it's a little bit damp, that concrete might be slippery. That's all. That's
Okay.
my concern, okay?
All right.
Other than that, thank you very much. Y'all doing great. Go Cedar Creek.
Thank you.
And the logo.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, next on the agenda is the Planning Commission update from our zoning administrator, Lorraine.
Do they have the proposed ordinance amendment?
It is,
Okay.
it is next on the, so you can address that if you will. It's at the bottom of their packet, so.
Okay. It's just kind of to let you know what's probably gonna come up in September. We don't currently have anything for a pond ordinance, and I get not a lot of calls, but enough that I brought it to the planning commission and say, hey, do you think we should have a pond ordinance? The only thing I can tell them is to call the state and find out what the requirements are. And that's based on the size of the pond. So we're gonna probably have a pretty simple pond ordinance, just so there's regulations for like setbacks, so they're not right on a property line or something like that. This is, what you got is just simple one I came up with.
Oh, they don't have that one, I'm sorry. They do
Oh.
not have, no, they don't have the pond ordinance, I don't have that.
You can read it to us.
I thought you were talking about the ordinance for the, fire emergency.
$500 one.
Oh, what's the planning commission update? That's,
That's what you're doing now.
okay, I thought they had this, I'm sorry.
No, I don't
Okay.
even have that, Lorraine.
I don't wanna read all this, it's a
Is
lot.
that,
No.
are you
Just
saying
kidding.
that's going, the planning commission is going to work on that?
We talked about it and I had a sample at our meeting in June. And I have a table that shows what other townships do as far as their regulations. And then we're gonna discuss it more and probably have a public hearing to adopt something. The other thing we're talking about is, an ordinance to regulate moving buildings. Right now, there's nothing on the books, so we did have one person that wanted to move a building from over here somewhere to down here, and, okay. You know, there's no zoning permit, nothing, so and that's another fairly simple one, but I think we need it.
Yeah.
So we can, yeah, we need it for safety and, you know, to know what somebody wants to bring into the township. The last thing the planning commission is talking about is, the special use ordinance for group daycare homes. We had people apply not too long ago, and I noticed the last bullet point on that ordinance says, the group home will be inspected annually by the zoning administrator. And I don't do that. The state regulates all that, so it's just an amendment to remove that sentence.
So, I asked Lorraine if she would please update us, because as she's doing many of these things, we're finding some of the ordinances that we have language in them that doesn't actually apply to what we do, such as the licensing for the daycare. So we have to amend it to read what we actually do. And that actually did happen when somebody wanted to move a house. Well, if we don't have something in our township ordinance that allows for that, then we're kind of up the creek. So we have to, when something happens like that, we realize, uh-oh, we need to get our ducks in a row. And so then Lorraine comes to me and she says, what do we do now? We need to amend our ordinance or write an ordinance so that we're in compliance, because you can't just bring a house into a township when it's not legal, or start moving one down the street if we don't have an ordinance that allows for that. So she's very diligent about those things and starts writing the ordinance, and then it comes to the planning commission and then before us. So we get everything in compliance. So thank you for updating us on that. I really appreciate that, Lorraine. And now, next on the ordinance amendment is 2024, number 03. As Chuck when he came in, he was talking about fireworks.
Am I done?
Well, you might as well stay there just in case. One of the things that we noticed, in your packet, it's I think the last piece in your packet is the ordinance on, it's a regulatory ordinance pertaining to fire and emergency services. This is another thing that happens when you start noticing things. I put back in our newsletter this time the information on fireworks, and what I realized when I put that article in there, if somebody set something on fire because of their fireworks, if you were to have a fireworks display in your yard, and let's just say you set your neighbor's garage on fire. We're just making this up right now. Or you set your own garage on fire, and our fire trucks had to come. We're not currently able to bill for that. Well, shame on us for not having that in there. Now, this is just a what if. It could happen. So this ordinance allows us, if you were to just by accident set your garage on fire, you would have your homeowner's policy would probably cover it, but our fire trucks would still have to come into your yard and take care of that fire. We'd still have to pay for that run. This allows us to bill for it. Bill your homeowner's insurance, which pays for it, but we'd still have to cover that. So this policy will allow us, this ordinance will allow us to bill that $500. Without that, we're not able to do it. Am I correct now?
You are correct. And I just have one point.
Sure. Yes.
The regulatory ordinance, maybe everybody knows, but if you don't, the first ones that I talked about are an amendment to the zoning ordinance. The regulatory ordinance is police enforced. Just
So that
In
does
case
not,
nobody
that
knew.
doesn't have a public hearing. This one,
Right.
this just goes in our books. It doesn't have to,
it gets published
Yeah.
after it's adopted, but
Yeah.
it's a police enforcement.
so, but with that said, I just need a motion still on this one, I believe.
I'll make a motion to adopt the amendment.
Support.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. We learn something new every day, and that was strictly just because I wrote an article and realized we weren't covered. So, thank you on that. Next one is the Wirtz quote. And you all have that in your packet.
I'll make a motion that we do this.
Support.
Okay, discussion. We have motion and support, now we
So
are
this
open
is
for
for the, I just wanna
discussion.
get a little more clarification.
Okay.
This is for the light and camera on the pole going in by the pickleball court.
Not currently the camera, it will house the camera eventually, but this quote does not cover camera.
Okay.
We have to get a quote from
Okay.
Entrance Technologies for camera.
Okay,
We in discussion phase?
Yes,
There's a proposed and an alternate. He puts in his quote that adding into it would be about the same kind of cost. I'd like to see if we could put in the proposed and the alternate to have two for additional lighting. I do like where he says on the bottom, conduit and wire size to add more light poles and lights within convenience outlets as needed in the future.
yes,
So
Okay.
as we're growing the park and the township's growing, both those poles have them type of boxes or whatever on. We can fire up cameras, potentially whatever else may come in the future, so
okay,
I would like to entertain putting in both light poles, if that's possible.
I agree.
I agree.
I guess I'd be careful where we put that one by the parking lot, so it's not behind the trees, so we can look
Oh.
at who's doing donuts in the parking lot.
well, it's a good point, but I think we're probably gonna be okay with the donuts based on, in the future, based on what Bob has planned for the donuts. I don't think they're gonna be able to do
Well, I mean,
donuts.
in the parking lot itself, I've seen them doing that.
In the parking lot.
Yeah, but
So if you had a camera,
I think Bob's plan will eliminate the donut phase.
Well, if we put the gates up like we want to, yeah, it will eliminate it.
Bob has a plan to, put,
We're gonna put power poles along the edge of the road, 8-footers, and we're gonna have gates that hook to them, and then we're
so you're gonna put a
do
gate
power
at the entrance
poles,
and exit for the parking lot?
6-foot power poles, 75 of them will be,
But you're gonna put a gate at the entrance to the parking lot?
yeah, that's our plan.
I mean, what about people that come during the week and use a,
Well, I mean, there's gotta be,
Playgrounds. I think
somebody
it'd
will
be
have to
open.
go open it, and somebody will have to stop in and close it. I'll do it.
Discuss that one.
yeah?
I'll volunteer
That's
to
weird.
do it. I mean, if it's gonna keep from somebody tearing stuff up.
Well, I guess we have to wait and see what kind of, how big of a problem that is.
yeah. Well, at least, if not the gates, he has they're putting his plan is to put posts down the center, you know, so, of the parking lot. We're kinda jumping in, but that just addresses
Yeah,
what you're
okay.
talking about, so. Okay, so we have a motion and a second, but during the discussion phase, we are looking at, everybody is in favor of putting the two, posts in with lighting and the, wiring for the, outlets. Do you have another thought, Heather?
My only thought is, we don't know the cost.
We don't know the cost. It would be, he did say it would be less.
Right, so it wouldn't necessarily be double this price.
No.
Do we wanna approve an amount up to?
Well,
Or do we need to
here's
wait?
my suggestion, that we're going to him with two. We won't vote on anything formally until we come to our August meeting, when we have Entrance Technologies full cost in August.
Okay.
Okay, and then at that time, we'll approve both Wertz and Entrance at the same time.
Correct.
So need a motion to table then.
Well, I wouldn't table it, I would just say we will go back to,
Okay.
Wertz for a full quote for two posts,
Okay.
as he's presented them. And then we will request, with that information, we'll request a quote from Entrance Technologies.
Okay, so Bob needs to amend his motion to include two poles.
Yes.
A friendly amendment
Okay,
to Bob.
There you go.
I am supporting his amended motion.
Now, the people putting the camera in on the poles, are they the same ones putting on the pavilion?
I believe it would be a cloud-based camera.
But it's the same company?
Yes, from Entrance Technologies.
Okay.
They're the ones that serve us here.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So, it is my understanding then, we are going back to words with 2 poles as presented here on this grid drawing. And in his quote here. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. I should have done a voice vote on that, but we are all in agreement, so. And it's not formal, but we will come back in August with a formal vote.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you all. All right, Bob, you're up.
All right, they were talking about putting cement barriers up out in the parking lot. That was kind of a concern to me because them things are 3,100 pounds. They're $2,100 to purchase, but then you got a delivery fee. Then you have to get somebody to move them for you. And I think that adds a couple, $2,000 or $3,000 to the quote. But I've been talking to Consumers Power about power poles. Would you donate some to our township? And Josh Larrabee, he got with me and he said, boy, you lucked right out. He said, we got a big old pile of broken poles over here at our garage. And they'll cut them to length for us, but we want 2 8-footers for the entrance to the park. We'll put them in a couple feet and then 6 feet will stick out of the ground to where if we ever want to put a gate on it, we can. And then we're gonna get 75 6-footers and we're gonna put them, but we're gonna put them in a L. We weren't gonna put them down the middle. But if that gate will eliminate, people can't come in and do the cookies.
Why are you not putting them down the
Well,
middle?
trying to go through 6 inches to 8 inches of aggregate with a auger, it gets pretty rough.
So this
On,
deter people from going out on the,
Well, that's what
playground
we're
in
trying
areas
to
with
keep
motor
people from
vehicles,
going
correct?
out on the walking trail. It's only gonna be
Yep.
4 feet wide.
okay.
We're trying to, and if that don't work, then we'll get rope and we'll drill a hole through the poles and put rope on it, so.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's a plan,
Mhm.
but it's free. You
Are the
know,
poles
we're
going
not
up?
gonna have any cost in it.
Are they going vertical in the ground?
Yes.
Okay. I just ordered a post hole digger for my tractor.
We got like 3 people in township
Okay.
that said, hey,
Well-
I'm gonna order one just because you guys putting that in.
Well, I got one in
No,
order,
we
so-
already got somebody that's
Okay,
gonna
okay.
do that, but.
I hear what you're
Yeah,
saying. about
Josh
digging.
Giddings and Brian
Good.
Fowler and
Okay.
there was another guy and,
They're gonna ask for volunteers to help set them, correct?
yep.
Good.
So, I'm hoping I get a call this week and, Vern Rich said he will lend us his dump trailer. Only thing township probably have to do is Bill Jeffries is gonna haul that trailer. I think we should pay him for fuel, cause he's gonna make a couple trips back, you know, out there and back and you got a stunned look on your face.
I guess my thought was you were setting them in the middle of in the center down.
Why would we take parking spots away?
I guess we'd have to look at a drawing.
Yeah,
There wouldn't be enough to park cars, face to face within 1/2 of that parking lot. You only got 50 feet there then. And then you need at least 60 to have two rows of cars. So you only put
I'll
one.
tell you
row.
the best way to do it is when you want people to get a couple of parking attendants to go out there and show them how they want people to park, they'll do it. If you go out to Fruitport, that's the way they do it. You know, they started out parking everywhere, but You know, they put a couple
I know
parking
your visual.
attendants out there, Greg Halka, one of the guys that I worked with, and a couple other guys went out there and showed them how they wanted to park, cause they had a new parking lot. They started parking, and they do it today, and
Yes,
that's
sir.
probably been 15 years,
It's
you
a
know?
great idea. I would just like to see the type of layout that we're talking about doing and ensuring that cars can move freely and park freely and we can maintain it accurately. That's a great idea to keep people out there.
I guess I just need a visual of it, Bob.
Okay.
So, I'm not opposed to it, I just need a
No,
visual.
I'll take you out there and kinda show you.
Okay. With that said, free is great.
Free is real good.
We got township truck could tow that trailer.
What's that?
The township truck could tow that trailer,
Well,
maybe. It's 3/4 ton.
hey, we got all this in play already, I don't wanna change
Okay.
nothing.
Alright, okay.
I'm just
So-
waiting
so
for
if
a
we
call
could
from
have a-
Josh, and then we can go over and get it done.
You're
So-
driving.
Okay, so I guess we need we need a motion to proceed with that.
I'll make a motion.
You can't make a motion on your own.
I'll make a motion to proceed with Bob's plan as presented.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. All right, thank you. As long as it's workable and we see the plan. I gotta amend that. As long as we approve the
Well,
plan.
no matter what,
Yeah.
we need,
Something.
Yeah, we need
we
something.
need barriers,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, we have to have barriers
Yeah.
there. Because, I mean, we've gotta do something so that they can't tear it up.
Mhm.
They just can't.
Protect our investment.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
We've paid too much to have that ruined. And, I mean, I suppose people will be people. I mean, you can't prevent people from blowing up pit toilets.
they're gonna find ways.
Yeah, they are gonna find ways. So,
Happens
Dave.
all over.
yeah, you're up next.
All right, the building project. We have our concept design fairly firmed up. We've gone out soliciting interest and qualifications from different construction companies. We've had interest from two of them, Journey Construction and Winberg. We had a walkthrough with them to show them what we want to do, and they're both interested. So we need to make a decision and look at and decide who we want to go with, make a recommendation, finalize the design, and get the project rolling. Hopefully the next month or two, we'll get that taken care of.
Any questions, anyone for Dave? Okay, thank you. All right. We have had, next on the agenda is the Cedar Creek business logo designed for multiple purposes. Over the course of time since I've been here, we have not had a logo. And we have had multiple occasions where we've had need of a logo, and we've just had to submit things without it. And so I have asked Andy if he could perhaps put something together for us. He has begun the process, but I am a little hesitant to ask him to proceed without your blessing on this. So if I could have a motion to ask him to continue in this process, I would appreciate it.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, recurring business, park update. All right. The pickleball court is it's all poured. It's beautiful, it's flat, it looks great. I was out there today. They started the walking trail yesterday, and boy, are they in full force. I was absolutely amazed. They are have told me that they anticipate being done at the end of this month. So the pickleball court should be done at the same time the walking trail is. So we should be in great shape. I'm very excited. This is all coming together, folks. This is really, truly exciting. So we are moving forward from parking lot to pickleball court to walking trail. Our read along with Jim, our first one, was so exciting. The kids had a great time. Cindy Briggs and I went to, I'm jumping a little along here, Cindy Briggs and I went to bingo yesterday so we could actually run our own bingo out here, and which we're doing in August, and that was great fun. I haven't played bingo since I was 10 years old, and there we sat with all the kids at Dalton Library, and there were 4 old women and I was gonna say old farts, but there we were. We had a great time, us and the little ones, and there were some women from Cedar Creek that we sat at the table with, and we literally had a blast with the little kids, and it was fun. We now know how to do our own, and it'll be fun. So everyone who's watching out there in TV land, join us at bingo if you're 60 and over in August. It was in the newsletter. I can't remember the date off the top. And we're going to have little prizes, and we'll laugh a lot. So that's my report on the park. So board comments.
I guess I'll start out because I do have good news. Natural gas, I'm all done going around getting signatures. They're both in the mail. One's going to Lansing, the other one's going to Leroy, Michigan, to DTE, to Courtney Robinson. It's in their hands now, so we'll see how that goes. And
It's cheaper now,
oh, did you get a? What was your price?
23.
Oh.
That's $500 cheaper. Yeah.
That's because
That's-
she waited. She waited because so many have signed up. The price comes down. She told me it'll keep coming down.
Awesome. Well, hopefully
Yay,
hopefully
Stephanie.
Curtis Vanderwall can find us some money in Lansing, then hopefully we get that grant going for next year. So, but
Is Bain Road on there? Bain Road on
yeah,
there? Ow.
no.
You're
I
out
got
of luck. We saw that.
Hey, enough of that.
Thanks, Bob.
Heather?
Just summer tax bills went out July 1st, so if you haven't received your bill, let me know.
I have a couple more things. A couple months ago, we had a couple come in here on Stonegate Golf Course. I did follow up with Terry Seaver. Yes, I did check with him because I had not heard. I'd been out there once, and the curve warning signs weren't out there, so I checked with him, and he said they're working in another township right now, and but he will double check with them, and he said to make sure that they in fact do that but he will follow up with them. And our yard sale is this Friday from, I think it's 9 to 1. So don't forget that. And our board meeting is on our Dawson Road board meeting. I don't want anyone to overlook that because I have talked to 2 Dawson Road residents about that, and that's a big thing. And the dates we're looking at would be, I don't have my calendar, it's the Monday and Tuesday, it's the 22nd and 23rd.
23rd.
Yeah, at 6 o'clock. So I need board members to pick one of those dates.
22nd or 23rd, is
Yep.
that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
At what time?
6 o'clock. And that would be so residents of Dawson Road can come out and join us.
I can make either day, so allow the rest of the
Okay.
community to
I
decide.
can't do the 22nd, but I can do the 23rd.
Okay, 23rd it is.
Yep.
Tuesday, the 23rd at 6 o'clock.
You talked to the people out there already, got their hopes up now?
No, I'm telling them exactly how much it costs. So I have told them exactly what the project entails, how much the price tag is. If we are able to do it, it has to be done in phases, and don't get your hopes up. But,
100 feet is time.
yeah, yeah, speed bumps. So, and the other thing that I have would be, Andy just finished the Arts and Crafts Fair flyer, and it looks great. So, the time is 9 to 2, and the date is
August 10th.
August 10th, thanks. So,
And I'm putting the signs up.
yeah. That's the
I'm gonna
yard
do
sale.
it
That's the
Thursday. I'm
yard,
not gonna
that's
do
the
it.
yard sale, you're putting the,
Yeah.
that's the yard sale. This is the arts and craft fair.
Well, I don't
This is
care
the
about
next
that.
event.
You have to care about this.
I got that. That's my project for Thursday, so.
You have to care about this too. This is a big thing.
One thing at a time. He'll
Yeah.
care
I'll be
about this
there.
after that one's done.
Yeah, I gotta get that done first.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a big deal. This is August 10th, and this was so much fun last year, and all the vendors really did very well who attended this. So that's a
was
big
fun.
deal in our township. So, and that's all I have. Dave?
I'd just like to say that living down the road here in Sweeter, it's very rare that I go by here on weekends and evenings, but there isn't kids or parents out on the playground.
Oh,
And that's very good to see.
wonderful. Thank
Using
you.
it. Yes,
Thank you. That's good to hear. That's great to hear.
yeah, they're always out there.
Brian?
Thank you, everybody, for coming to the meeting. I was kind of expecting a few more people. Hopefully, we can continue to get more and more down here, and thanks for coming out and attending these. There's a lot of work that goes in these meetings, a lot of work going on in the township. As Dave says, show up or you come by here in the evenings or the afternoons and you see people out. As I've said, I've told people at my shop where I work and out in the community, talking to people about the playground and the walking trail coming and the pickleball courts, lots of interest in that. You know, that takes the entire community working hard on that, all the subcommittees, the committees. Dawson Road meeting, I'm looking forward to that. I went down there with somebody that used to work the road commission and we took a look at it. It needs something done. Not saying that we can, so I'm excited about it, and I was able to get out and take a look at some of the road projects that the road commission has done, and I want to tell all the men and women at the road commission, thank you for your hard work. The projects look fantastic out there. You can tell they actually care. I mean, it just, when you go down, when it's been fixed, it's like, wow, this is a huge improvement, so thank you for all the hard work of the people at the road commission.
We are truly fortunate that we have so many primary roads and that Cedar Creek does care about its roads.
Yep.
All
So,
them red
yeah.
lines don't cost us
Yeah.
no money.
One of the things too, though, I want to point out that we do put our meetings on our website. And so, and we do that right away, so people have the ability to see our meetings, and they can do it at their convenience, which, that's been one of the selling points, I think, about having our meetings broadcast. They can watch these meetings, and they do watch them at their convenience, and I hear that from our residents.
Do we
You
know
know, they
how
know
many
that-
people
I'd have
watch
to
them?
look.
Huh?
I have to look. It
depends on the meeting.
Yeah, but especially in the winter time, and, you know, it's, 6 o'clock isn't a real popular time it's dinner time, and a lot of people watch them at their convenience,
Yes,
so.
I think it's great. Nanny does a great job at it.
Yeah.
I guess my comments were, there's some political stuff coming up in the future. I've been out talking to people, and then I invited them to the meetings and such.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're gonna watch the recorded meeting or take a look at what's being broadcasted. So that's what my comment was.
Yeah, yeah.
Linda, one question. A couple months ago, a gentleman was in here to talk about putting signs out on that road by Ewing and Sweeter. Is anything gonna come of that? I see there's still no signs out there.
Signs and.
Cause of the big turn there.
Yes.
Oh, that's,
Someone's killed there.
that's what I talked about, on Oak
Stonegate.
Stonegate.
Right.
I just mentioned that.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. And she was talking about Terry Seaver, that's
Terry
what she was
Seaver,
talking
yeah.
about.
Okay.
Yeah. I emailed him, and he's
The road
got,
commission's gonna put
yeah,
them up.
they're working in another township right now,
Okay.
and he is checking on it to make sure it's done.
Must have zoned out.
So it's always good to recheck.
I
so.
thought I seen your eyes closed.
Okay, any other thoughts, public? Anyone from the public? Yes, Stephanie?
Andy's making me go to the podium.
Yeah. Did you have a good time with your grandchildren?
I had a wonderful best place I could be. I just want to redirect what I said last month. Where are all the candidates? Shame on you. You're here, but you're not running for this township. Where are all the candidates? Shame on you. You have not participated at all this whole year with this township. How can you ask to sit up there?
Amen.
Amen. This is the last meeting before an election. Where are they? They don't have a clue what's happening in this township.
Stephanie, Andy's running for county commissioner for her.
Well, I understand, but I'm talking about the people
Right.
running for this
Okay.
township board. They should have been here every meeting.
Okay, I agree.
Nancy, did you want to say something?
Well, Stephanie had pretty much took the words out of your mouth by the horns. I've had this down, and I really like that our township meetings are videoed for people. But still, the people that are running, there's no interaction with the board, with the people that do attend all the time. And for one, as a voter, I'm very disappointed in the people that are running. You know, Andy's here, Andy's great, he's running for, the commissioner, but we have someone that's running for, I think, maybe each office. I don't know him, and I'm here every month, and I'm very disappointed, and there's no way that I would vote. I'll leave my vote empty for those people that do not attend. There's no reason for that, none at all. I'm just, as an American citizen, I've had my son and my husband both in wars, so you have a right to vote. And I'm just thoroughly disappointed. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for your comment. Anyone else want to make a comment? Okay, all right. I guess I would call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.